Hey, before you watch this thing, hit subscribe, would you?
It would get dark, dude. Like there were times like I feel like I watched you pass out and hit your head on the bar. I've like seen you do shit where I was like, yo, I assumed you were gonna die.
Right. There were a lot of people that assumed I was going to die. I never got like dark. I was never aggressive. I was never, I would never fight with people. I was never like inappropriate.
Yeah.
Like I was, and people can attest to this that have drank with me over the years.
I would agree. Yeah.
I was a fucking blast, dude.
Yeah.
And that's also a catch-22 where for the most part I was a functioning drunk where like I would do shows I didn't even remember. I remember doing Vegas, sold out like 1,200 people. And my buddy after the show was like, or the next day would be like, dude, that was one of the best shows I've ever seen you do. And I'm like, I don't remember it.
Did that scare you, or you were just like,
I was like, no, it fucking worked.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I would push myself really hard. And then some shows, you know, a handful of shows were not good. And I'll definitely admit to that.
There was one recently, right?
There was one last year where, and this, again, I go to Colorado, which I performed at many times.
Sure.
I was also hospitalized there. But I did a show in Vail, flew into Denver, acclimated, was in a great mood, drive to Vail, go to the bar, have a couple cocktails. Somebody gave me an edible. I'm like, hey, I like edibles. I usually take them before I go to bed. But I pop an edible, and then I'm like going to the gig, and then all of a sudden, I'm at the show, and then I hit the stage, and I'm doing a whole new hour. And I usually have my set of notes, and I forgot it. And so now I'm just like trying to piece it together in my head. Totally brain fart my set to the point where I'm like trying, they all hit me, the altitude, the alcohol, and the edible. And I was so frustrated because I was like telling the crowd, I'm like, I got it. And they're like, hey, Nick. And then some people like didn't know who I was. It was Vail. So they were like, just came to the show and they were like, boo. And I'm like, no. And I'm trying my best.
No, I'm party guy. You got it.
I don't say that. But so like, and then they told my opener after the fact, he told me this. They were like, we're going to cut Nick's mic and pull him. And my friend Ari Manis was opening. He's really funny. And he was like, don't do that. Nick will just figure it out. He knows how to handle himself. And they were like, nope. They pulled it and pulled me off. Physically came on. They're like, come on. And I was like, bye. I don't know what's going on. And then it was a shit show. And then somebody filmed it, went on TMZ, got picked up by news outlets. I mean, I'm talking like Yahoo News. It went fucking everywhere. My phone, I got like 200 texts of like people like, you got to go to rehab. Oh my God, are you okay? Blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I fucked up. And I owned it. I was like, I felt bad, but I was like, yeah, just shit happens, you know?
Yeah.
You know, nobody died. It wasn't like I didn't pull a Michael Richards.
You almost died though, right?
I've almost died before, but I didn't die. And at that time, I did not almost die.
That was not the time.
No.
Okay.
I'll say that I did not almost die in that time.
It was a different Denver time.
It was a different Denver time.
Got it.
I said I almost died in Denver.
I think you just have to stay out of Denver.
Yeah, I mean, even though
I blame the altitude. I think you're doing everything right.
Yeah, I'm nailing it.
What happened in Denver the first.
Well, so anyway, I go back after the Vail incident where I did not die, and I just was like, what the fuck? And then I just picked up my tour, and then all my Denver shows sold out after that, and then the tour went great.
They got to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there was part of that, but it was great, and I addressed it. And then, you know, my other bouts with Denver and altitude. There was one time where I would finish a movie, and the thing that's really dangerous with drinking too are benders, and that's one thing that I loved. I loved starting to drink, like detoxing for like 3 months, and then I would go on a bender for either a month, 2 months, 3 months. You know, Key West was a year and a half.
When you're in the bender, well, okay, when you're detoxing, do you feel like you're training for a fight?
In a way, it's like I always knew I was going to drink again, and I would pick that time. Mm-hmm. So most of the time when I film, I don't drink. So you got to be on camera, like, you know, it's early hours.
Yep.
So, and I would produce the movie, so I'd had to be there and be alert. So I would always go though, like, all right, fucking July, game on. So I had set aside this time, it was Memorial Day. I believe it was 2019 or 18. And I'm like, I'm going to go on a fucking bender. I'm going to take the whole summer off. Maybe I'll do 1 or 2 shows. And I'm going to fucking drink my tits off. And I'm going to go to sporting events. I'm going to go to as many baseball games, all this shit. And I did. And I had this summer of just crazy.
What does that look like?
It was a blast.
Like a day, 1, 2, give me a 2-day period.
If you're a serious drinker, it's waking up and starting to drink. So it would
10
be
10 a.m.?
Not even. I would wake up some days at 5 a.m. And I would find a bar at 6 in the morning, and I would start
How?
drinking.
Google? Yelp?
Yeah, you just go on your phone and be like, what bar's open right now? You can always find a bar.
Okay.
So I would find a you and I would start,
When
this
you
was
walk in at 6 a.m., are you like, this is going to be fun, these are my people?
yeah, if there's people there, yeah. You can usually find a partner in crime to drink with you. I would like hit my buddies up and they were like, dude, no. But then at the bar, you can always find, there's always some motherfucker that's
And
like,
it doesn't matter
man
age,
or woman,
man,
doesn't
woman,
matter age,
race, like,
whether they're, 25 or 75.
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, some days I would drink from 6 a.m. to noon, and then I would go to another bar that I like that would like open around 11 or noon, and I would drink there until 2. Then I would go pass out until 4 or 5, and then I would go back to the bar.
Is there a drunkenness to it, or is it just sort of like a area?
I would just hit a wall where I would know when I'm like, okay, like I'm starting to like sway a little bit on the bar stool.
Yep.
So then I would go and pass out for a couple hours, and then I would go back. And then the games would come on, and then I would watch, and the night crew would come in, like the night drinkers, and then it would be great. And I would drink until 2 a.m.
And then you'd go pass out till
Then
5
do the same
a.m.
thing.
And in LA or various cities?
LA or various cities. But
Okay.
I mean, worst case scenario for me was like I would tough it out until 8 a.m. and then start drinking at 8.
Like nobody was game at 6?
Yeah. Or I couldn't find a bar at
Bunch
6.
of squares.
Yeah. But the thing I never did
Would you drink in your hotel?
No, that's what was really weird is I didn't like drinking alone. I liked being a part of something. I liked going to a bar, and I liked any bar, a hotel bar, an airport bar, love it. And I would, show up early for flights and drink.
I'm assuming you tip great. People love it.
Oh, I tipped amazing.
Yeah.
I would always tip amazing.
Picture stories, yeah.
So I would tip great, and I would just have fun. And I would, I still talk to people that I met at airport bars 10 years ago. People be like, remember, it's me, Stacy from Philly Airport. I'm like, oh yeah, what's up?
Who could
I mean,
forget?
yeah, but it was great. It was a fun
Why
time.
are you doing this?
I fucking was over it. I was like, I just had my life. I was happy with my life. And I was like, it
was a celebration
I liked
of your
being
life.
a drinker. Yeah, I was essentially throwing my own retirement party for years. It was so fun.
Is there somebody you look up to, like Bukowski or
I had
Hunter
lifelines. So
Thompson,
I would always reference Bukowski, famous author.
I think a man can keep on drinking for centuries. He'll never die.
I became fascinated by alcoholism and drinking. So, I would always reach out to like Dave Attell.
You ever black out, or as I call it, time travel? You ever do that?
Who's been sober a long time.
Yep.
And then Doug Stanhope.
People say, yeah, I don't have to drink to have a good time. But that means you have to have a good time to have a good time. How do you pull that off?
Still a big drinker.
Yep.
Those were two staples where I would be like, and I would ask him questions. I'm like, hey, yellow stuff I'm vomiting up this. What's that? Was that bad? Like there was like drinking questions where like there's blood like coming out of my ear. Is that weird? Like I would like reach out and they're
and
like,
it
oh,
didn't
yeah.
feel self-destructive, even though it was self-destructive.
Yeah, I just was like fucking on board with it. I'm like, let's go. And then so at the end of that bender I went on for a summer, I'd wrapped this movie, The Wrong Missy, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna.
A very funny movie
Thank you.
with the great David Spade
and
the
Lauren
great
Lapkus, phenomenal.
Lauren Lapkus, and you guys shot in Hawaii.
And we shot in Hawaii.
Yep.
So I wrapped that.
Did Tyler direct it?
Yes, Tyler Spindell, great director.
I love everything about it.
So summer bender after that, and all of a sudden I'm in Minneapolis, and I can't remember what I'm there for. I think some Twins games. I went to go watch baseball, and I'm in my hotel room, and I'm throwing up bile. So that means it's like yellow green toxins, and that's not unusual for me. So I'm like, okay.
Do you eat at any point? Do you
I
like
try
make a point to eat?
When you're on a bender, you need a couple drinks in your system to eat. So like you'll need, I needed like 2 or 3 cocktails, and then I could have a full meal.
You need to drink to eat.
You needed to drink to eat.
So
you
not the
get to a
opposite.
point where your stomach won't. You'll get diarrhea or vomit if you put anything like, especially anything like rich in your system. Like,
Interesting.
So like once you have alcohol, it kind of settles and numbs your body. It's super weird. And then I would eat.
And you never did, or maybe you did do the thing where you would do coke to stay drunk?
I was never that guy. That was like
Okay.
a rumor I'd heard about me, but I was never a coke guy. I've done coke, but that was never a part of my regimen.
Okay.
It was never ever a thing to me. I liked passing out.
Got it.
I didn't like going the distance of like, you gotta pay.
Yeah.
The cocaine people, because you can see them a mile away. It's not a good look. I mean, sloppy drunk is not a good look, but I wasn't sloppy. But when you get people that are cokey, it's like, no judgment on you people, by the way. I'm friends with a lot of
Well, okay. Well,
people.
from my experience of you, when I would see you in the middle of drinking, you like weren't there. It was like trying to connect with you.
Sometimes, yeah.
And it was
I could be a space cadet.
It was just like it didn't matter what I said. It was like just pull a string and you would just say a random thing.
Right.
And then,
That's
it wasn't
interesting.
like upsetting, but it was just like, okay. All right. And then you'd like try to catch up and then you'd pull another. It would just be like a.
Right.
So, but from your point of view, it was a fucking blast.
I mean, one thing I did like was I liked checking out because like for a long time, my brain was just wired to where I was just constantly like obsessed with work. I was obsessed with things where I'm like, okay, why isn't this script getting made? Why isn't this going? Like, okay, why am I not, you know what I mean? So like there was a frustration with the business of where I was like, I was just kind of over it. Like, you know the deal. Like, the business, like, people don't realize it doesn't really matter what level you're at. There's always going to be rejection.
Yeah.
There's always going to be things that are frustrating where it's like, well, why didn't my pilot get picked up? It's
Yeah.
super funny. You know what I mean? Like, why isn't this? So there was
Yeah.
a lot of that stuff where I was fucking over it. So, like, the numbing, and people can relate to that, where
So
alcohol...
you're frustrated in general, or
I was just again, I go back to the term over it. I was
what about
just
the term
over it.
anxiety?
Anxiety your anxiety, it's a catch-22 with alcohol because you get anxiety and then you drink and numb it. And then when you come off alcohol, your anxiety is now 10 times worse.
Which is
So,
like what it's just chemical.
yeah,
from
that's
withdrawal
chemical
and
where
all that shit.
Yeah, so that's where like, you know, I had a fear of flying, so I would have to drink on flights. I would have a fear of, you know, I couldn't go into like a concert crowd or something. You know, I couldn't do things where I couldn't go into a stadium if I didn't have a couple drinks, you know, and then the come down the next
You had
morning.
a fear of houses. You would have to drink to go into houses.
Oh my God. If
to
I saw
walk, you'd have-
a flying house.
You knew you were gonna have to walk with your legs. You'd have to
Oh
drink.
my God. If I saw a cloud.
It was really dark.
Oh my God.
Did you?
Somebody told me what
the
time
internet.
it was.
You had a fear of the internet. Adam Sandler, which I was like, why work with him, Nick? You're afraid of him. Did you? Okay, so you have anxiety, and
Well, so I
then you're
just-
in a cycle, and then how do you get? All right, so
What you do is, so hold on, let me go back to what you brought up. So I do this bender over the summer.
Yes.
I'm in Minnesota. I'm throwing up bile. My assistant comes and picks me up to take me to the airport to go to Colorado. So I go, hey, I'm fucking throwing up bile. And he goes, you're just hungover. You're fine. And I'm like, no. Something feels different. And he's like, whatever. Just get on the plane, go to the bar, get a drink. You're fine. I'm like, okay. And that's what I would always do. I would always drink through it. That was always a solution. If I had any issue, if I had the shakes, anything, drink through it. So I go to the bar, get a drink, get on the plane. Sitting on the plane, something's off. Like off. I get a cocktail, drink it. Now I'm like, open my carry-on, I throw up into it. So the guy next to me is on his laptop just pretending like that didn't happen. So I throw up into it. We land. I get to the airport, go to the bar in Denver, know the bartender. He's like, hey, Nick. I'm like, hey, let me get a fucking Tito's.
in every terminal, you know, the bartender.
I know a lot of bartenders. You know you are, bro. What's up, dude? So I fucking drink a cocktail at the bar at the airport, go to the bathroom, throw it up. Get another one, go to the bathroom, throw it up. Order some food, eat it, throw it up. And I'm like, fuck. And now I'm like worried.
This is where you call customer support.
Yeah. So now I'm worried because I'm like, okay, the alcohol's not working. So now I don't feel well physically. And I call my agent and I go, hey, I've got shows in Colorado Springs. I go, I think I need to go to the hospital. And he goes, really? And I go, I either need to do that or just take a nap. So it was either or. I either get a hotel room and sleep it off or go to the emergency care or urgent care. So I made the choice. Thank fucking God. I went to urgent care, walked in. I go, hey, I think I need to see a doctor. And the nurse goes, nope, you need an ambulance. Like now. Didn't even ask anything. Called an ambulance. They put me in. I go to the ICU, Colorado University. And I was there for 3 weeks. And I literally I was going to die. So like I was on tubes, everything, blacked out, don't remember anything. I tried to check out on my own, I was told. And I was in these tubes. My family flew in to say goodbye to me. I didn't know that. I was told I had a 10% chance of living. Turns out they lied to me. I had a 0% chance of living. And they came in to say goodbye. And for some reason, I don't know what happened, I walked out of it. I had pancreatitis, I had pneumonia, I had blood sepsis, I had alcohol poisoning, I had altitude sickness. I had like 5 things. One of those things can kill you, and I had all 5. And the doctor goes, I don't know what the fuck is going on with you.
But here's your free t-shirt for having all 5.
Here you go. Here's a catheter. But so I walked out of there. And it was like
and that's
crazy.
Before Key West.
That's before Key West.
What?
So then I dry out. COVID hits.
Why dry out? Is it hard? Is it like you have the DTs and you have the...
No, because I was coming down out of the hospital. I've had the DTs before. People that drink know. When you go on serious benders, the come down is brutal. Like I'm talking like if you drink a lot.
The shakes and the... It's
the shakes is nothing. I'm talking about like full on hallucinating. Full on.
Like you're in your house.
You're in your house and you're like hearing and seeing shit. It's really brutal.
And do you think I should just drink to get this over with?
No, because you know that you've got to stop. Like you have to. I mean, if you're smart, and by the way, this is another piece of advice: get assisted detox because you're rolling the dice. If you're a serious drinker and you've gone on a long bender, or maybe you're just an alcoholic that wants to quit and you've drank steadily for 20 years, have somebody assist that if you're really serious, because
what's
it's
the
very
difference?
dangerous.
What's assisted detox? They give you drugs?
Yeah, they'll wean you off. You'll
Yeah.
go in and they'll help you. You know, there's somebody there that'll help you. You know, chemically just wean off of it.
So no hallucinations. None
Yeah,
of that.
I mean, if you go cold turkey, I mean, you might still have to deal with that shit, but.
Slowly.
But that's very, very, very important. I rolled the dice, and I'm really, really lucky.
Okay, so you live, and are you like new lease on life, grateful? Whoa, that I was stupid. That was close. Any of that? Or are you just like,
yeah, no. I wasn't flippant about it at all. I was like, holy shit, like that. Like I felt like you kind of go like, oh, I'm living on borrowed time. You know, when people say that,
yeah,
that's how I felt. Where I've been like, I'm lucky to be alive. And I just completely like had a different mindset and just was like super healthy. It was like, I got to get my shit together, got to get back into stand up. I've got to start writing again. I've got to just, blah, blah, blah. And then COVID hit.
Just hit it. Don't you want me to feel good? Subscribe.